Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from my everyday guy, Redonkulous guy here, and welcome back to the letters. So in the last episode, no, I'm not talking about the last episode that is the endings guide episode. No, I'm talking about the last to last episode, which is like last episode for this because yeah, it's the main story. So I have kept it the main story. I have not changed any routes. The route that we have taken in this game is what I'm gonna follow till the very end, and the other routes will be for the ending guide episodes. So yeah, as you can even see over here, we have got the ending number one. And I have kept it that only. The only thing that if I wanted to, was the fact that instead of going for the priest, I wanted to go for the professor after seeing that because of that beautiful moment. And I feel like it was more of a choice between whether you want to have a good relationship with Zach or a good relationship with what was his name again? Ashton, yeah. So I feel like the second choice was really better on the arc, but other than that, I think I am pretty damn alright with every choice that I have made, and even though I make mistakes in any upcoming arc from now on, I will keep it as it is and will follow it till the very end. So yeah, so last time around in the Isabella arc, we chose to first go for the office, and over there we discovered something about BRC employees having a connection with the letter and the murder of Rose and everything that is going on in our life. We were gonna reveal the secret, but before that she came up, we got trapped and left on a cliffhanger. The fact that whether we survived or not, because in the other two endings, if you saw the episode, but if you have not, spoilers ahead, we died. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the third ending too we died. I don't know if we did or not, but by the looks of it I can say we died. But yeah, we got the ending number one, so we are not gonna look upon any other endings but the only ones that I just got. So yeah, now we are starting off with our brand new arc, that is Hana arc, where we stopped where we started. Where this arc starts. So let's go now. It's far too easy to get them to pay attention, and raptured, they hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest. But wait a minute, I just remembered something, so let me show you what I remembered. Apparently there is something called as journal where we get to know a little stuff about our characters. So I did not look upon this, about Maria Isabel Grace Cruz Santos that we were playing as, and she's an estate agent that we know that from Filipino, Catholic, fine arts undergraduate, likes all this stuff. And yeah, she's the third child among 7, daughter of a laundry woman and a jeepney driver. I don't know what that means. Jeep driver, I guess. She went to a public school and was an average student but took to art easily. Eventually, she pursued a degree in fine arts as encouraged by her father. However, when the man was diagnosed with terminal illness, she had to stop studying to make money. It was Isabella's aunt who helped her to get overseas in order to earn more money from any local job could get her. Rose Cooper had become her mentor as soon as she started as an agent of the BRC, who died. It's been 5 years since she met her neighbor Rebecca. She met Ashton during an unfortunate incident involving her first sale at Dublin Court, and later Zachary through him already. Yeah, we get a little background about stuff that I should have checked before in the previous episodes rather than now. And now let's know about something about Hannah. So Hannah Wright D. Evans. She is Harris, former finance manager. That's why she knew all those documental stuff that Isabella was surprised about in the previous episode, that is the endings guide episode. Yeah, and she is Anglican, nationality British, masters in British administration, major in accounting. base. Okay, that's cool. Of the Luxburn upper classes, Hana is used to living a life of luxury. Absent parents made her crave for attention, though something she gained from her private tutors and nannies instead. It was never enough, however. She studied hard in order to make her parents proud, going into business so that she could work alongside with them. The challenge in her otherwise privileged life was certainly a thrill for her at the very least. She had many suitors, dating different men and women, but it was through work that she met Luke. It was love at first sight for her. Upon her parents' death, Luke proposed to her. That was the move that led to the merging of Wright Enterprise and Evans Incorporated and her subsequent retirement. Their 7-year marriage is strained, but Hana tries her best to make it work. Okay, so now let's continue. That was good. That was little some knowledge right there that may be helpful later on in the arc. Let's go now. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am
Hana Wright!
This guy looks like the priest, if you know from the previous episode, except without glasses. There is a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He's more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with Chief Inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rosalie because of me. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship where we'd have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being Chief Inspector of Luxburn Police, his wife Rochelle Lee Nee Vance owns a General Electronics company, fridges and freezers. Mostly, what is wrong with me today?
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight. I see the husband isn't with you.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. He's freaking creepy. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemingly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets and getting close just because my husband is not here. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party, in my own house if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
We make small talk. Rather, I am forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin, I have been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regaled to me tales of the Luxburn Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to, and though I loathe to admit, is interesting nonetheless. I expect a topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft. The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they have been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife. I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
I know what he's talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermagood Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that would be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right. No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. Okay, maybe a lot of people, yeah, 3-story penthouse. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one and it already feels crammed in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I have been looking for a good anniversary gift. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Oh, it's the next day already, oh. Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Warned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
it's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour and a half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Why must he treat me this way? Okay, considering how this type of a guy is, I think I would remain silent, because if I defend myself, he will go a little angry on me, relationship status, and this guy, I don't know. Let's keep silent. I'm happy. Maybe he will feel pity for me. I have no idea, maybe I am totally thinking it wrong, but let's see how it goes. And I'm sure he will be too once he gets over this little upset. There is no point in aggravating him anymore, so I keep myself from commenting on the issue any further. A sweet smile and a bowed head, no need to provoke. That is how I go.
So, when do we leave? Where are we even going?
We're scheduled to leave after lunch for the Ermengarde Mansion? Das ist ja interessant. It's just Deutsch name. Is that infamous mansion? Yeah? I have seen it from afar. It's a huge property. Very beautiful if it wasn't left abandoned. Certainly a house befitting lords and ladies of the land.
A house good enough for nobles, huh? It is well known then? I guess that doesn't make it a total waste of time.
Our old sous chef mentioned going there for Halloween last year. We've not seen him since.
A very bad idea for Halloween. I mean, I know for Halloween you will pick creepy and spooky places, but this is like real deal right there. That is why.
Not that I mind. He made terrible pumpkin soup.
I smile even as they turn their backs to me. The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I'm conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrive at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with Ermengarde Mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. and the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxbourne certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the brides are interested in buying. Oh, and what do we have here? What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabella. Because, see, I told you, it's gonna be something like, the decision that we made in the first arc has gonna be like in this arc where she does the things like that in what she did in the first arc. So, yeah, let's see how it's gonna go now. What is her problem? Still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she's scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. The second thing on my mind is how touchy my darling husband is being towards the poor dear. Cannot even plaster a smile on my face, a horrid scowl taking its place, and that's why she was a little pissed off towards him. Already I'm back, so as I was saying, now we took the decision to show the letter, and that's why she's really panicked. So this guy is just being a little douchebag and taking care of her while she got a little jealous, and that's why Isabella and our relationship is not that good in the original set of choices that I've made. If we don't show the letter, then it is, but yeah, right now, as you can see, she's a little jealous about that fact. There is no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
He's quick enough to detract his hand, which is all that the girl needs to, well, for a lack of a better word, escape.
I think I need to step out for a while. I'll be back.
Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There is an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl and telling the tale to whomever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman Rose to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did. But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child. She looked, 19?
I shoot Luke an accusing look at these words. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. And not only that Isabel girl, but also Marianne and Rose too. What kind of husband would think that it's even a remotely good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there? Did he drink while I wasn't looking?
She's a bit older than that. But again, I apologize. And if there's any way I can make up for what just happened, just...
Yeah, she's 26. I mean, as them they are standing off right here. We never saw Isabella like that. Now that we saw her, she kinda looks a little younger than 26 though, but yeah.
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of those bottles you plan to serve. Pop it open.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
Oh no, I'm fine. I really shouldn't be drinking right now.
And Luke shouldn't be either. But right now I'm just too tired for any sort of argument. Don't have the heart to scold him in public as well. I'm certainly not his mother. I just want to get this horrid day done with, go home and sleep. Perhaps I will even have a strong pupa before I head off to bed. Yes, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with champagne, I beckon her over. As I have told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. I might as well, even if I am having second thoughts about getting it for Luke. The moment we, the brides, had expressed interest in this place, we have had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well be the signal to have busybodies gossip about how we may or may not have lost our fortune. Regardless of the fact that it is false, image is everything when dealing with these people. These are the unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. And besides, I really like this place. Why everything here is absolutely wonderful. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. It looks like a bad fake of an Edward Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh right, she's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I will need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she stills herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
A hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Well, she took it really lightly over there. Or perhaps maybe I should... let's say first. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go for questioning the need for a meeting. Like, what is the meeting up for though? So yeah, instead of just freeing up my schedule and not knowing what the need is though. Maybe it's very small. Let's see though. This isn't the first estate we have acquired, of course. We have brought plenty of others, from penthouses in Luxbourne to vacation and townhouses in nearby cities. It is, however, the first time that an interior designer has asked for a meeting with me. Normally, I had just let them do as they please and hope for the best. I found that they rather liked the creative freedom it lent them. They all bragged about Hannah Wright is living in a house I designed.
I can make time, but I'm sure you're more than capable enough to work on your own, yes? Surely I would just get in the way and you can do things faster and more efficiently without my input. Because, no offense, if you're one of those workers who need constant supervision and hand-holding, you might as well tell me now so that I can look for another interior designer to work with.
Surely this one will feel the same.
Yes. I am capable of working without any design input and without supervision, Mrs. Wright. But it'd be entirely different if I know what you two would want for this home, how each room is meant to be used. You have to consider what sort of colour palette you would want at the very least. do consider that this will be your home and not mine.
None of those houses ever did feel like a home.
You won't give me a choice in the matter, will you?
What? No. You do have a choice, and
No. You've clearly made up your mind that we must meet. All right, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
Well, I'm glad you're not complaining like you usually do. It's a right and proper Christmas miracle, isn't it? Hannah has finally done something right.
I refuse to look at him, staring at the passing scenery instead.
Hey, Buttercup, what's with this cheek?
Rose, Lily, Mint. The nerve, Luke, the nerve!
Is that what this is about? 1, that woman's name was Rose. And 2, you know I don't mean a word of that empty flirting.
And it's still the principle of things, Luke. I understand if you try to woo them to get what you want when it seems that I'm not looking. But I told you once before not to do it when I'm there.
Luke dealt with other women in the past to get what he wanted. Sometimes I have my doubts. I really want to believe that I am an exception, that he is just not using me like how he used those other girls. Oh, I'm having a hard time believing that now. And it isn't just the shameless flirting. There is something about that Marianne woman, as if Luke is familiar with her. Told you, there is definitely something that he knows. Maybe we'll get to know when his arc or her arc comes up. As much as it shames me, it makes jealousy rear its ugly head. I am, suffice to say, ticked off.
Really? I forfeit my trip to Cardiff for this, and you're still not happy.
Oh, trust me, Luke. I am very happy. Very happy that, for once, we are doing something that I want. Can you not see the smile on my face?
It is only when I let loose those words that the truth hits me like a slap on the face. And by the looks of it, it seems to have the same effect on my dear darling husband. It has always been Luke's want to do this, Luke's want to do that, hasn't it? And I don't even remember the last trip we went to which was of my own choosing without needing to get the man's approval. On the other hand, I was pulled along to every single expedition he wished to tackle, and I never objected. The rest of the ride home is spent ignoring each other, pretending the other didn't exist. Arriving at our penthouse, my first order of business is to get into bed. Forget a hot bath and forget the tea. I just want to bury myself in blankets and forget everything in my slumber. It seems that Luke has the same idea in mind as he tags along behind me. This is something I will not allow the moment I passed through the door.
Out.
What the bloody hell, woman? This is my bedroom too!
Luke stands flabbergasted as I deny him entry to our chambers. His pillow lies on the cold, tiled floors away from the warmth of our soft down bed, and my gaze promises him the same fate if he does not budge on this matter.
Don't even try to argue, because I am very cross with you, Luke Wright. You can take the second bedroom or the guest room if you wish, but I do not want to see you at all for the rest of the night.
Johans!
Our butler wanders over, a curious expression on his face. He doesn't quite hurry, moving at a relaxed pace, no matter how angry his master sounded.
No, you are not allowed to sleep in my room, sir.
That's not what I mean! Help me talk some sense into her!
There is no sense in questioning her right to be angry, sir. So, if I might be excused, I'll go prepare the second bedroom for you.
I have to keep a straight face as he storms away in defeat.
Mutiny! This is mutiny! The system is being upturned, and the people are rioting, and everything is left asunder.
It isn't every day that Luke is rendered speechless by someone he considers inferior or to yield to another authority without an ulterior motive. His pride just won't allow it. I do keep telling the man to treat his people better. He may throw whatever fit he wants, but he will not be getting his way tonight. Victorious, I celebrate by jumping face first onto her bed. Undignified, yes, but nobody is here to judge me anyway, right? Nobody is here to tell me what to do. Yet, as I succumb to sleep, I can hear them whisper to me. I can hear them whispering, calling for me. They want me, need me. They drown me, pull me down, and suffocate me in their embrace until I sink to the bottom. A deep abyss awaits, inviting yet foreboding. They are calling to me from in there, aren't they? And I do want to help, I do. But when I try to reach out, something pulls me back like a hook sinking itself into my stomach. And I break through the surface with a gasp. Alone in bed and without Luke to hog the covers, I'm swathed in cloth and slicked with sweat. It takes me a while to untangle myself and kick them all off. Both the bed and I are a right mess by the end of it all, but I'm more than eager to just get up and go out for some fresh air. Wow, she is taking those jump scares, those creepiness and everything really calmly, I will say, yeah. Unlike Isabella though. But yeah, she's just like, maybe it's just my imagination. I'm just tripping so much because of I don't know what. The days past had gone by a blur. We hadn't talked much, Luke and I, outside of necessity. Wait a minute, just a minute. So yeah, we hadn't talked much, Luke and I, outside of necessity. In fact, we have hardly talked beyond the topic of acquisitions of properties. Properties being the mansion, obviously. Everything has been so busy that I haven't talked to anyone outside of business, and it is just so stressing. So one can understand my need for a good chat, preferably over a good meal. There are times when any decent, emotionally healthy and socially capable person need a good friend. One who will talk to them without the conversation degrading or turning into an argument, or barring a nearby friend. I have an interior designer under a confidentiality agreement to listen to me.
Up, higher, come on now!
Place is bustling with movers carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. I can hear Luke barking at them in the other room, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now! I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
It is hard to tune him out. The walls did not do a good job of muffling him at all. But then again, it is Luke. I would still hear him ranting even if we were on the opposite side of the mansion and I am wearing earplugs.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright. But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Nonsense! You arrived so early, you must not have gotten a proper meal. Our butler has made a surprisingly lovely bubble and squeak. Sit, sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now. Oh, Johannes!
The man in question appears, ready with a tray as he starts to set the table for us. We sit in silence as we are each served a plate. Bubble and squeak, topped by a nicely poached egg with cherry tomatoes and other garnishes adorning the edges of the plate. A cup and saucer and a teapot with some Earl Grey is placed down for Marianne, and I asked for an orange Julius.
How are you liking the project?
Drop that vase and I'll have your head. I know it's only an 8 million yen vase, but I swear, I'll...
Well, it's certainly a fun challenge, incorporating the designs of a Jacobean manor and the functionality of a modern household. I have ideas I would like to suggest, by the way, about what to use the second bedroom for. I have been informed of your goddaughter and thought a kid-friendly room might be in order.
You read my mind. I was actually going to bring that up. Oh, that would just be so lovely, Marianne. That way, Kylie can bring her friends over as well. And a good friend of mine, Rochelle, is expecting a baby. So, why don't we think about putting a crib in there too? I can just imagine little ones running around, filling this place with the pitter-patter of their feet. We'd have to make sure they don't trip and fall on the stairs, though.
We won't be able to finish everything up until after the party. But we'll have it ready by then, so that all we need to do is to move in the furnishings.
Yes, that's plenty fine. It's not like we're in a hurry to have it. And we wouldn't want the workers to disturb the guests or the other way around, do we? Just make sure it's presentable. You know, in case a guest snoops about.
Of course. As for the kitchen you wanted, I've already negotiated for the high-end stoves and the hot and cold drawers, so on and so forth. I've got a friend who is able to customize them so that they'll look like the counters we'll be replacing and fit the rest of the interior. They'll be bringing them in today.
Why can't you people do anything right? Don't drag it. You'll scratch the wood.
Excellent. But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
She looks confused. Of course, she has every right to be. She no doubt overheard me push that estate agent into the sale, making quite the aggressive offer. She saw me sign the papers for the mansion as well. I just had to scoff.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, it wouldn't be appropriate to comment further. It is unprofessional.
Unprofessional?
I can't help but let out a deep sigh as I stick a fork into the dish. I didn't want professional. I want someone who will either agree with me, even if it's just for the sake of agreeing, or someone who will try to talk some sense into me. Neutral responses are so boring. There is no discourse in the middle ground.
The food is good. Best bubble and squeak.
Of course it is. Our kitchen staff only uses the freshest hand-picked ingredients. Only the best for the rights.
Mr. Wright is not joining us?
No, he is far too busy bossing people around. He even refused to join me for breakfast earlier. Hence, this.
I see. My apologies. I really don't know what sort of response you expect to get from me.
Whoa, there is a clatter of silverware as I slam my hands on the table. It is frustrating. I am frustrated. At Luke mostly, but Marianne's neutral, professional answers are certainly irksome as well.
You're a human with feelings and opinions, aren't you? Don't give me this bollocks about being professional when we're having a nice friendly chat over a nice and friendly breakfast. I can only talk about interior designs for so long, and I detest one-sided conversations, Marianne.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
I didn't realize that I shouted that out loud until it is too late. There is a stunned silence that settled before I slumped back into my seat. Hiding my face behind my hands, I can feel my shoulders shake. Breath, I told myself, calm down. Sorry, that was breathe. But it is just so hard.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like he doesn't love me anymore. Oh, have I been so blind? Did he ever love me at all? Was our marriage all for the sake of saving his company and his wealth? Because...
Because?
Did I say all that out loud again? No, this is bad. Unacceptable. It has been rumored before the real reason for our engagement, but if anyone were to know of this, marriage is of necessity to carry on political and financial power used to be a common thing, but the Evans Wright union is the perfect happily ever after. Was supposed to be, but it's not looking like anymore. It is true that we first met each other in order to discuss dealings to make the then falling Wright Enterprise a subsidiary for Evans Incorporated. But I do remember being in love with him, and there were times when he said he loved me back. Even if I'm not sure of what the truth is now. Either way, I do not want the Wright name or the Evans name dragged through the mud because of a slip-up. And if Marianne so much as talked of this... So we are gonna choose that in the next episode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This episode was pretty cool. Like my theory of how, like, you know, the decisions that you make in the previous arc will have an overlapping or consequence effect in this arc, which we saw the fact that, you know, she got a little jealous with Isabella and Luke doing his shiz. Yeah, it's so freaking good, and I would love to see how the story goes on from here, and how is the ghost gonna affect or maybe even kill her. Let's see. All about that in the next episode. So hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, please click that like button, subscribe for more awesome content, comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. Shabake.